Hello everyone, my name is Eben, and today I have a question for you. Have you heard the question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? I'll give you a moment to think about how you would like to answer. Are you ready? The answer is that the egg came first because before there were chickens, there were lots of animals laying eggs. Now, our story today doesn't really have anything to do with that question, but it does have a chicken in it. It's Tyrannosaurus Rex versus Edna, the very first chicken. And now you may know about a Tyrannosaurus, but did you know that most dinosaurs are named in Greek? This is so that archaeologists and paleontologists from all over the world know exactly which dino they're talking about. Anyway, I think I've talked long enough. Let's start the story. Tyrannosaurus Rex versus Edna, the very first chicken. And it's by Douglas Rees, illustrated by Jed Henry. And there is Edna. And on her nest it says that this is a Henry Holt and Company, New York, published book. Tyrannosaurus stomped through the forest. He roared. Roar! He gnashed. He cried, I am Tyrannosaurus Rex, and I want breakfast. And there is the mighty and ferocious Tyrannosaurus Rex, and he's got red and green like a ripe pear. And he's enormous because there, running in terror in the corner, is a tiny dinosaur. It's orange with blue stripes, and it's not even the size of his leg. And flying away, there are some purple and red dinos. I think they're pterodactyls. Triceratops heard him and ran as fast as she could. Run! She cried to Ankylosaurus. Tyrannosaurus Rex is coming. Ankylosaurus ran too. Scram! She shouted to Parasaurolophus. Tyrannosaurus is looking for breakfast. And there is Triceratops. She's pink and purple, and she has a sharp beak and 3 horns and this bony crest that would protect her neck from predators. And there is Ankylosaurus. She's orange and she has lots of sharp spines, but most importantly, she has her big club tail she could use to defend herself. And despite having such impressive weapons and armor, these dinosaurs are afraid of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. But I forgot to mention Parasaurolophus. He's this blue guy in the back here, and most notable of all, he has this crest that scientists still aren't quite sure what it was used for, but they think that it was used like a trombone to make a noise. Imagine that. And he's eating his breakfast, which looks like a salad. They all ran past Edna, the very first chicken. What's up? She asked. Get out of here, you strange-looking little whatever you are, Parasaurolophus said. Or Tyrannosaurus will eat you right up! Edna didn't run. She just stayed where she was, pecking seeds for her breakfast. And there is the little chicken, the very first one. And she doesn't look frightened. She looks more curious than frightened. And she's pecking the seeds on the ground. Meanwhile, the other two dinosaurs have run away already. There's Ankylosaurus and Triceratops off in the distance. They've been chased out of their own forest. And Parasaurolophus has stopped to warn her that she isn't going to run away with them. I hope she'll be okay. When Tyrannosaurus saw Edna, he roared, "Roar! I am Tyrannosaurus, Lord of the Forest. Beware my mighty claws and terrible jaws."
"I am Edna the chicken," said Edna. "Beware my mighty beak and terrible flapping wings."
Tyrannosaurus roared again.
Roar! Beware my deadly stomp and long, sharp teeth.
"Beware my pointy claws and many feathers,"
said Edna. And there's Tyrannosaurus, still looking like a ripe pear, but he's enormous, and he has those tiny, relatively tiny, mighty claws. But oh my goodness, those terrible jaws are the size of a tree branch. They're huge. And there's little Edna, who's about the size of his toe. What do you think? Terrible claws, long sharp teeth versus flapping wings, many feathers? I don't know. Maybe Edna should have run. She's not afraid.
I am big and fierce, and you should be afraid of me,
Tyrannosaurus said.
"I am small and brave, and you should be afraid of me,"
Edna told him. And there's Edna, and I guess if she had hands, they'd be on her hips, but her wings are doing the best. And she's about, it looks like Tyrannosaurus could crush her with the bridge of his nose, but she's not giving an inch. She's a very brave bird. I still don't know. What do you think will happen? Let's find out. Tyrannosaurus gobbled her up in one bite. It was dark in Tyrannosaurus's mouth. It smelled terrible. But Edna grabbed Tyrannosaurus's tongue with her pointy claws. Tyrannosaurus roared a new roar.
Ow!
Let's let go of my tongue. Edna hung on tight. And there is the poor little chicken being swallowed whole. Have you ever swallowed a chicken whole? You know you're supposed to chew. And don't eat chickens while they're alive, please. Or this could happen to you. And there is Edna grabbing onto the meaty T-Rex tongue. And look at those beautiful white teeth, and they're so strong. I bet Tyrannosaurus's dentist would be proud of him. I think that his teeth are so strong and sharp because he eats a lot of meat and bones, a lot of calcium and protein. That's good for your teeth. Next, Edna pecked.
Yo!
Screamed Tyrannosaurus.
Ow!
Let's get out of my mouth. Edna flapped her wings till her feathers flew. And there is Edna the chicken pecking the T-Rex tongue. And there are the feathers flying everywhere, and there's so many feathers that they're even coming out of the T-Rex nose. Oh, can you imagine being allergic to feathers and having them coming out of your nose? And his eyes are going cuckoo because that must be so uncomfortable. What do you think will happen when there's feathers coming out of the T-Rex's nose? Have you ever had a feather up your nose? Gasped Tyrannosaurus. That sneeze blew Edna out of his mouth, soaring across the forest. She's soaring so quickly that she soared off the page before the artist could capture it. And there's the big dino sneeze, soaring across the forest and straight into a giant redwood. Whew, that was lucky. Meanwhile, Tyrannosaurus tried to roar. Feathers came out. Tyrannosaurus tried again.
I am Anasaurus X.
He said.
I am lost.
And there is Edna landing in the redwood, and there is the Tyrannosaurus coughing up feathers, and his eyes are bulging because he's in so much discomfort, and it looks like those mighty claws aren't much help when you're sick because of a chicken, and he can't even roar. Not so mighty now. I don't know if he's the king of the forest anymore. Edna ruffled up her feathers. She flapped her wings. She stretched out her neck and clucked her loudest. Tyrannosaurus turned and ran. Edna flapped down to the ground and chased him. And there is Edna ruffling up her feathers and puffing out her chest and letting out her cluck. And there is Tyrannosaurus running straight out of the forest in terror like he saw a ghost. But as he's looking over his shoulder, he's not seeing a ghost, but a chicken chasing him. They ran through trees and over flowers. They ran across streams and up hills. Every dinosaur in the forest saw them. And there is Tyrannosaurus, who now has flowers in his eyes, and he can't see where he's going, and he's crashing through the trees and splitting them in half. And there he is jumping in the stream just like you or I would to escape a stinging bee. And it's not a bee but a chicken that's still pecking him. And she's chasing him here out of the forest, and he looks absolutely terrified. But there are the other dinos. There's Triceratops, who's clasping her hands with delight, and Ankylosaurus has a smile on her beak, and Parasaurolophus just can't help but laugh out loud at the supposed king of the forest being dethroned by little Edna with her flapping wings and many feathers. Finally, Tyrannosaurus ran right out of the forest and out of sight. He didn't get breakfast that day. And there he is. Who's the chicken now? And there is little Edna and the other dinosaurs. And you can see that Edna is she's 10 times smaller than the other dinosaurs. And Tyrannosaurus Rex is twice as large as the other dinosaurs. So that means that Edna is about 20 times smaller than the T-Rex. But she beat him anyway. Thank you, said Parasaurolophus, and Triceratops, and Ankylosaurus. You are awesome!
You are welcome.
Said Edna. And there is Parasaurolophus, and Triceratops, and Ankylosaurus, who has Edna perched on her head, congratulating the victorious chicken. After that, Edna protected the other dinosaurs. Tyrannosaurus never came back. And there is Edna saying cock-a-doodle-doo to the morning sun, and she's on a precipice or a cliff overlooking a fertile valley where there's Triceratops and Parasaurolophus and Ankylosaurus, and these look like brontosauruses, and they're all drinking from a river. And I think this is the part where they lived happily ever after. Which is why today there are no Tyrannosaurus Rexes, but plenty of chickens.